Hi, fam. I'm Neil.
I'm DJ.
I'm Ralph.
And welcome to our YouTube channel. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 different myths that are commonly heard about psychologists. So, let's get started.
Myth number one. It's the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. So are they the same? Are they different? How are they different? So what are your opinions, guys?
My opinion, difference ng psychologist at ng psychiatrist is that we can compare them to doctors and to physical therapists. Being the doctors is yung psychiatrist and yung physical therapist is the psychologist. Let's put it in your physical health na medyo comparison para mas mas madali siya maintindihan. So, kunwari, nabalian ka ng buto, ang una mong pupuntahan is to the doctor. Ngayon, yung buong process ng pag-recover mo, kung gaano katagal mag-heal yung bones, kung ano yung mga medicines na iinumin mo for like pain reliever, lahat yun sa doctors. Now, if you put it in our mental health perspective, ang doctors is yun nga, psychiatrist. So sila yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng medicine and they can diagnose you too na kung ano yung sakit mo. Tapos, di ba pag nabalian ka ng buto, you need physical therapy on how to walk again, ganun, or to how to use your bones properly. Kasi since may nasira na bone, medyo madidisorient yung muscles mo. So you need physical therapy for it, for how to walk properly, to how to jump, to run back to normal. So in comparison naman in mental health, yun yung job ng psychologist. Since nagkasakit, 'di ba, yung mental health issues, ganun, nagkaroon ka ng problema, ang job ng psychologist is to help you rewire na to make you think normally how you would in everyday situations.
Also, psychologists and psychiatrists actually work hand in hand. So, a lot of people think that they're against each other or that psychologists don't need psychiatrists or psychiatrists don't need to work with psychologists. So, but in reality, they work hand in hand there. And actually, for psychologists, the educational track is different from a psychiatrist's educational track. For psychologists, they take a master's degree and then they have to take the clinical psychology board exam. But for psychiatrists, they take a medical field. They go to medical school and then they choose the specialization, which is psychiatrist, and then
They study psychopharmacology.
yes.
Yes. Yeah. It's important to note that each person needs different things. I think it's very specific to the case again. Na parang you may have just like chemical imbalances. You may have something wrong with your brain talaga. So you need psychiatrists. But you don't need a psychologist. Or the other way around, maybe nothing's wrong with you biologically, but you need help with your coping mechanisms, or maybe you need a little bit of reframing with your parang cognitive sense, or growing up, you need to process yung mga thoughts mo, then you need a psychologist. So it's very specific on what you need as a person and as parang in that case. Oh, yeah, so it's very specific. So they can go hand in hand, or they can, people can opt out of not going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist if that's what's needed. But usually, if a psychiatrist sees that you need extra help with processing your thoughts, then she or he will refer you to a psychologist, and that's vice versa. Because like me, if I find that counseling and therapy is not gonna work for you alone, I can always refer you to a psychiatrist if you need that extra boost of like serotonin, or if you need mood stabilizers.
But also to be clear on the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist focuses on psychopharmacology and
The psychologist focuses on psychotherapy.
Simpler terms, basic psychiatrists will diagnose you, will give you medicine, focuses on your biology, focuses on the brain. The psychologists focuses on your mind, your thought process, your childhood. So it's a lot of talk therapy. That's where psychotherapy came to be. So talk therapy and counseling.
So we finished talking about the first myth. We busted that. So, so the second myth we're gonna be talking about is that psychologists don't care and we only do it for money, which is absolutely false. So
Because I'm
why
broke.
false, guys?
Because people think like psychologists don't care. Pero like when I see a client, sometimes they preoccupy my mind even after the session. Syempre, you want to say the right things, you want them to be safe, you want them parang happy, you want them going through the right path. So you can't say that psychologists don't care. I think I speak for most of us when when I say na we care a lot. We care a little bit too much sometimes. Sometimes mawawala yung boundaries just because we want to know that you're doing well. Tapos, we don't earn a lot of money. Of course, that we get compensated because it's still a job, but we don't do it for the money. Yun na lang. Because there are a lot of other jobs that are super like high paying. I could go to HR. But that's more paying than like a psychologist or a clinician. But we do it because we want to help out. And it's our passion.
And people usually ask why psychologists charge because, it's a noble job demand, but it's similar to being a doctor because that is a noble job as well. They charge. So why shouldn't they be free also if that's the same mentality?
Saying that now we're just in it for the money. There are a lot of jobs na pwedeng, para lang sa pera, na mas kumikita ka at hindi mo kailangan pagdaanan yung masters, yung buong educational track just to earn money. 'Di ba? Hindi naman rin ganun kalaki yung kita for psychologists like it is said before. So, I think in this track na psychology track or in the mental health track, we are empathic. That's why yung talagang iba yung dating or yung feeling of something na nakakatulong tayo. Parang ganun yung gusto ko sabihin na hindi kaya bilhin ng pera yung what we earn or parang yung nare-receive natin na may natutulungan tayo, we are able to help or parang heal in a way. Hindi talaga siya for the money but for the services.
Yeah, for the fulfillment lang din of our job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people also think that why do psychologists charge if all you do is talk? But it's not just talking because there's more to it than just talking. Psychologists have to undergo training and then, the time and care that goes into the therapy, the treatment plans that psychologists do for their clients. And then also, therapy involves so much. It involves empathy, like what Ralph said earlier. It involves understanding, figuring out the issues of the client. It involves the underlying issues and everything. So it's a very difficult job actually, but it's very fulfilling because you get to help so much people. So it's definitely not about the money.
A lot of us go through that track now. We just do volunteer work and do volunteer pro bono clients because we know that it's not really accessible for everyone. And that's a reality, I think, in the Philippines na psychologists or going to a psychologist is like the biggest privilege you can have. Because you're like rich if you can afford a psychologist, because most people don't even think of going to one. So most of the psychologists, a lot of us in our circle think that it's okay to volunteer our time. Even the seasoned psychologists, the senior psychologists, all have pro bono cases because we want our services accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think na maraming ways to to approach sa psychology na hindi mo na kailangan talaga maging mayaman. Kasi meron nga ngayon na parang free services, ganun, merong telepsychology. You can talk through them through telephone or through cellphone mismo. Sa tingin ko, daming tao naman ngayon may cellphones, and yung iba naman sa tingin ko merong internet, kaya mag-Facebook.
Which brings us to myth number 3, and I think it's quite related to number 2. it's that everyone thinks psychology is easy, or like we have an easy job to do because it's just talking, like what Jill said. Na we just talk. So why can't we just do it with a friend? Why can't I just consult with a friend with my problem? Why do I have to see a psychologist? So why is it not easy? Why is it easy? You guys have opinions?
So, like what I said earlier, psychology or being a psychologist is definitely not easy. So, aside from the added education that we do, and not just clinical psychology masters or taking up masters, but as psychologists, we continuously have to increase our knowledge and attend seminars, attend workshops. We have to undergo trainings to get certifications for different kinds of therapies or to be able to do different kinds of therapies. So there's a lot of learning involved, which is wonderful. It's always good to learn new things, but it takes a lot of our time, our savings, money, our effort. So it's definitely not easy.
To add pala, in psychology, it involves a lot of research. So, both kinds of researches yon. So, quantitative and qualitative. So, doon pa lang sa quantitative, madugong statistics na ang kailangan doon. So, sino ba magsasabing madali lang statistics? Ngayon, another kind of research is qualitative. Ngayon, sa qualitative naman, that involves a huge population para maging valid ang research mo. Hindi naman pwede na parang 5 lang yung kukunin mong participants sa research mo, 50 at mga 15, 20, masyadong maliit yung population for a research to be, valid kapag ganun lang kakonti. Gathering participants pa lang dun sa research, hindi pa kasama dun sa analysis of data, dun pa lang, di ba, mahirap na yun kasi parang in other courses, thesis na siya ginagawa na you need to test a hypothesis and all that. Pero in a way, parang sa amin, kailangan namin siya gawin to find a effective way to predict a behavior. So undergrad pa lang, ilang classes na minsan yung may research para sa'yo kasi isa doon, syempre qualitative, isa na quantitative. Pag natapos mo pa yun, meron ka pa ngayon masters na halos ganun rin yung ginagawa mo. Pero syempre, medyo upgrade ka na ngayon sa topics and yung sa mga population, sa participants. Tapos meron pa PhD.
Another parang evidence why psychologist isn't as easy as people let it to be or people peg it to be. It's because our job is emotionally, psychologically, and mentally taxing. It's not easy to absorb all the problems and try to make sense of it. If you think you can't make sense of your brain, paano pa kami na we see other clients every day? Pero a lot of people tell us our problems and we have to internalize that also and try to organize it for you, diba? And we have to come up with effective treatment plans. We have supervision for that. We ask for help from seniors. We really have to discuss your cases because we want competent care. Basically, it's in the freaking ethical handbook. Now we have to provide competent care for everyone. So it's not easy kasi onting mali lang namin, we can lose someone. Then someone can kill themselves if we make a mistake. Or if, someone can get more abused, someone can get more depressed, someone can go through that hole again if we didn't have that competent care or we didn't have that proper training to treat them.
Exactly what DJ said, very true, that as psychologists, we also have lives on our hands. So just like doctors, because the clients or the patients that we talk to usually have depression or are unstable with their issues or are going through a lot of things that they can't seem to fathom. They can't seem to understand by themselves. That's why through our help we'll guide them. So yeah, definitely being a psychologist is not easy at all.
Not for the faint of heart.
Yes. For being a psychologist, you definitely have to be empathic. You definitely have to have the heart of a psychologist. So what does that mean? You have to be kind. You have to be understanding. You can't really be judgmental. You're going to be talking to a lot of people. They're going to be sharing with you a lot of their problems, a lot of the things that cause them anxiety, that cause them stress, that make them sad. So you're going to be hearing all of their issues. So definitely you have to be kind. You have to listen. If you're the type of person who can't listen to someone for more than 5 minutes, then you can imagine how hard it can be to listen to someone share about how they feel for like an hour. So yeah, it's definitely not easy with how people think it to be. Yes, but definitely worth it. But it's definitely worth it.
So another myth that we want to talk about is yung parang stereotype na sinasabi na if psychologist ka, you can read minds. So any comments about it?
So definitely, as psychologists, we cannot read minds. So that's an eh. So we are not psychic. We cannot read your minds just because we take care of your minds or help you take care of your minds or help you figure out what's going on in your mind doesn't mean that we can read your mind. We are not psychics. We are not mind readers.
Tarot card.
Yeah,
Tarot
just
reader.
tarot card readers. Just as a clarification, psychologists focus on your mind, your behaviors, and your emotions, but we can't see like through it. Pero it's a collaborative process. So if you're not allowing yourself to open up, and if you're not allowing yourself to share your story, ganyan, we're not gonna know what's going on. Basically, you have to be open to sharing your problems, or else we're not gonna be able to help you.
Yeah, like I often hear this when I go out. So much people when they ask me what is my profession or what do I do or what did I take in college, I would always hear this. The first thing I would be like, I am taking up psychology or I'm a psychologist, and then instantly they would say, sige, basahin mo nga yung iniisip ko. So that is a very common misconception about psychology or psychologists to psychologists. So which is definitely false. So
Definitely false.
so last but not the least, don't worry, we will be talking about more myths in the coming episodes. But for this episode, the last myth that we will bust is myth number 5. Psychologists will be your best friends because you're going to be sharing everything, all of your struggles and everything to them. So you think you guys can be friends or be Facebook friends, etc. But actually, that is ethically wrong for us. So as psychologists, I'm so sorry, we cannot be Facebook friends, we cannot be Instagram friends. So as much as we would love to, it's ethically wrong. We have to set boundaries. So you guys want to expound on boundaries?
Yeah, well, I just want to say that it's normal to want to be friends with your psychologist. You're opening up yourself to this stranger, and I know you're developing a relationship with them, and you'd be excited because you have this person that you can share everything to without like holding anything back. And that can be for a lot of people who are deprived of that kind of connection. You're like, oh my gosh, this is it. I have a new friend. That's your like automatic thought when you like open yourself up like that. But you have to treat it very professionally in order for us to help you. You have to respect our boundaries. You can't access us every hour of every day like a friend, because we also have other clients, and if we cater to everyone at every given time, it's gonna be emotionally and psychologically taxing for us also. So we can help you in the most competent way we can.
Pwede mo kaming in a way na friend, pero kasi 'di ba, we have a lot of hobbies. Tapos per hobby natin, meron tayong parang friend to talk about it. Parang bihira yung lahat ng hobbies natin na share natin sa isang friend. So kunwari, meron tayong kaibigan na pinag-uusapan na lang natin about them is about sports. Meron tayong friend about computer games or games. meron namang friend about school. You can think of us na we're a friend, pero ang pag-uusapan mo about with us is your mga internal struggles or yung mga gusto mong ma-solve. Gusto mong ma-let out na in your true feelings. So you can think of us that way and have a professional manner, since this is what we do or this is our profession.
What Ralph said is true. Na parang you have to be selfish actually. This is a professional setting. You're paying for the service. So you have to, parang in that hour, ilabas mo na lahat ng problems mo. You have to talk about your problems. You don't have to know about our personal lives. Kasi this is your session. This is how you get better. And you're not supposed to be paying us to be a friend to you. You're paying us to be a psychologist to you in order for you to heal and in order for you to get better.
To Adrian, the thing is about us psychology na if ever may masabi ka sa kanya na hindi mo gusto malaman ng ibang tao, lahat ng sinasabi mo naman sa psychologist is confidential.
Yes. So definitely, we care about you. We want you to get better. We want to, we want the best for you. But ethically speaking, we are not able to be your friend because it's a professional setting. So, but don't get that wrong, because we do care about you.
We care about you like how your doctors care about you. We want you to get better. If you pay me to like talk about myself like for the bad without you getting the thing that you need, that's gonna be unfair for you.
So don't forget, we're gonna be having a next video talking about ethics. If you like this video, click subscribe in the button down below, and
notification bell if you wanna.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
So we really hope you like this video, fam. We will be posting more videos about busting myths, about everything about psychology and mental health. And we hope that you can check those out. And we hope that you like this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully, not a thumbs down. So
and comment down below if you want anything for us to talk about.
So definitely comment down below, just like what Ralph said. We are open to talking about anything. We are open to your suggestions, your ideas, and we would love to hear from you also. So thank you, fam.
Follow Feminine on Instagram. Bye. We got you.